showtime!
What's up, world? It's your boss, International. Let me put on my face tracking. So the fourth and final country in this series of 2025 most played out destinations for passport bros is on this list, or it's on the verge of it if it's not already here, is Pattaya. And when I say Pattaya or Pattaya, I'm talking about this beach city in Thailand, or beach town in Thailand. Now let's talk about the positives in general, which is Thailand. The safety, which is important to a lot of people, is relatively very safe. You can make the error or mistake of leaving your phone out, leaving your phone on your bike, or leaving your phone. They just called somebody down the street that left their phone here. This is not happening in a lot of places that you will visit. You can be out late hours of the night and no problem. Nobody's going to bother you. You can set your drink down, and everybody sets their drinks down and go to the bathroom and come back. So there's no druggings and things like that. There's not a lot of gun violence. They have guns, but there's not a lot of gun violence for tourists. That's very minimal, if any. You know, there are some fights here and there, but it's safe. It's very safe. On a scale of safety, it's high on a safety scale. The weather can be great, especially in the high season. It's warm, it's a beach town. You got your beaches, you got your close islands. The food, most people find the food here delicious, tasty. A lot of seafood, shrimp, rice, and all types of ways that the Thai fix their spicy food. Papaya salad, all those things. Affordability, the price is very affordable to live here in Pattaya. Now you can go on the high scale and get you a really nice place, 2-bedroom with a lot of room, 2 bathrooms, somewhere between $650 and $1,000. And you can go on a lower scale, a 1-bedroom or a studio room, somewhere on a scale between $500 and $200. So it's very affordable to stay here. It's easy to get around the city Pattaya, especially central Pattaya, but you have the central, you have Praptamnak, and then you have Jam Tiem. Those are the main 3 areas. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Those are the main 3 areas that most people are going to stay when they're in Pattaya. And it's easy. You could rent a motorbike for $100 a month if you're staying that long, and just drive around. Just wear your helmet. And it's pretty good infrastructure, you know, especially in the major condos and developments. You know, they have state of the art here, and they have simple and humble, but infrastructure is pretty good in this part of Thailand. It's very close and easy to venture out to other countries in Southeast Asia, and the flights are relatively cheap. Round trip under $200, and the flights are mostly about 3.5 hours or less to most of the nearing Southeast Asian countries. There's a lot of women here in Pattaya, so if you travel for women, and women's one of the main reasons you travel, there is a lot of women here. There are a lot of beautiful women, attractive women, funny, kind, nice women, you know, along with, you know, they're not so desirable personalities, but it's not a bad thing, you know. It has good vibrant nightlife. You know, party, walking street, bars, massage parlors, you know, cheap services or very affordable services, you know, whether you're getting your nails done, a haircut, a massage, very affordable services. Let's talk about some of the things that are not as good in Pattaya or Thailand. It's a very long flight. You know, for most people, it's going to be somewhere around 20 hours, depending where you live, to get to a major city in the United States. You might have to add on flying into a major hub and then getting on a flight. So it could be 15 to 25 hours for most people. So the flight is long. the round trip ticket or the ticket can be on the expensive side. So that's not necessarily and then when you arrive, and most time people are going to arrive in Bangkok, the major city, it's another 2.5 hours to get to Pattaya. And depending on when you come, you can take a bus, which is kind of cheap, but if you come really early in the morning or really late at night, you're probably going to have to take a taxi, and that can run you somewhere between $30 and $40 for the taxi. So after a 20-hour, 21-hour flight, and then you got another 2.5 hours to get to Pattaya, which could be not so good. Although the food is good, it's not necessarily the most healthy. A lot of rice, a lot of sugars added to their food, the MSGs and other things. Street food could be, depending on your belly, it could be good or not so good for you. So the food thing is like so-so, it could be unhealthy for a lifestyle because you see a lot of older people here. You see them at the bar all the time. They're drinking. They're at the beach. They're drinking, and they're staying out late, and they're partying with girls. So that could be something that's you don't have to do that, but it's all around you. Like I'm here, I'm drinking way more than I would usually drink because it's a nightlife type of place. You're gonna go out at night here, so it's a nightlife type of place. Nice, pretty girl there distracted me heavily. At least I think it's a girl. And that's another thing that's not in the best shape is you can mistake yourself for thinking it's a girl and it could be a lady boy. That's not necessarily a good thing. Okay. There's been a large influx of, black men from all over the world. And although we're still the smallest community here, our options are less. Like there are tons and tons of Indians, tons of Australians and Russians that they kind of run Jomtien, the Russians and Australians, and they usually scatter the beaches. The women who prefer black men are as a smaller group, and so we're gonna end up, a lot of us seeing or having affiliations with the same girls. That's not, I guess it's not something that you would, the clubs, the few clubs that we do attend that play hip hop are starting to be very crowded with us, and that's also like you feel like you travel so far just to be around a community that you would be around if you stayed home. Not the girls, but the guys per se. So that's another thing that could be not so, entertaining about Pattaya. Also, the relationship side. It's going to be harder to find a good relationship in Pattaya, which is a party city, which is a city that's known for fast life, bar girls, freelancers, and stuff like that. To find a really, down-to-earth, wholesome girl is going to be a challenge here. And, the girls are here to, a lot of them are here to make money, but I will say, if you relax and lay back and let the women come to you, they will come to you. And they will show you some love that don't have nothing to do with money. I will say this is one of the places that still has that element where women who are interested in you could strictly be interested in you and not really be about the money. Like other places, girls won't, it's just different. And they are choosy here, which is something that's different from other places. Like they won't go with you just because you want them to, or because if they're in that lifestyle, you have money. No, they pick the guys that they like, even if they are freelancers, in a lot of cases. Okay, so, so I could see with the influx of that, there's been fights, there've been internet beefs, and, brothers are stepping on each other's toes. It's the ego, it's the bravado, and, it's packed. You have your military community, and then you have your young, new passport bro community, and you got the guys in the middle. And, it's a little bit of stepping on toes and egos, although there are a lot of girls here in Pattaya. Like I said, the ones that will interest the average black man who wants the shape and wants the color, they're not in abundance. So, and there's others who look like they strictly mess with Arab or strictly mess with Indian or strictly mess with European features. So, our pool of women that we got to choose from is small. And our clubs or nightlife options and venues are the smallest. The Indians got huge, big clubs here, 4 or 5 huge clubs that they built. It looks like for their own desire, their own pleasure, their own people. Although they invite you in there because they want your money, but it's definitely not catering to black or black people or hip hop culture. Let's just say that. Now, some options. Now there are options that. Let's start with the options in Thailand. And I will stick with the ones that have the beach culture and the beach lifestyle. So if you want to change beach culture, beach lifestyle from Pattaya, you can try Phuket. Although Phuket is more of a vacation-y spot, a short stay. Phuket is a good option. You got Phi Phi Island, you got James Bond Island, you got the Big Buddha. So there's some things to do there. Another one, Koh Samui, which I recently went to, is another beach town, resorts, and they got good nightlife, and it's a younger type of crowd. You got Koh Phangan, you got Krabi, you got Chiang Mai, Chiang Rai, Hue Hin. So you got you got plenty other places to check out and visit, but still enjoy the benefits and the things you like about Thailand. So there's other places to go and spread out and not all be in Pattaya. Then on top of that, I will give you some suggestions. The great thing is that Southeast Asia, other countries are right there, and it's usually a quick flight. Vietnam is a good option to Thailand. I would say Ho Chi Minh City is a good option to Bangkok, and Da Nang is a good option to Pattaya. Although Da Nang doesn't have the lifestyle and the walking street, it's still a beach lifestyle. Like I said, you meet a girl, take a girl, just get away. It's a nice. They have Bana Hill. They have the Golden Hands Bridge. I think Vietnam is a great option. Cambodia, very close, similar looking people. Cultures are similar. Doesn't necessarily have the beaches. They have the Mekong Delta, the river, but they do have nightlife. They do have their version of a walking street. And they do have similar looking women, and it was not all crowded with the same guys. I would say that's a good. Philippines, which is one that you at one point in time you could think maybe possibly that could have been on the played out, but it changed somewhat after COVID, and it kind of fell back. It didn't recover like other places after COVID. To me, a lot of the places on their walking street closed down, and the last time I went there, it wasn't open. But I will be returning from this trip, so I'll give you an update. But when you're in, you can go to Manila, you can go to Angeles City. That's like kind of like Pattaya as far as walking street. You can go to Cebu, Boracay Island. There are a lot of things and a lot of islands to visit in the Philippines. Japan is another one, maybe like 6 hours away from here. It's another Asian country that nightlife, culture, infrastructure is there. Right now, the dollar is strong in a lot of places right now. So I would say I would put a bid in for Japan. And last, Malaysia. You got the major city, Kuala Lumpur, which could kind of be compared to like a Bangkok. And then you got Penang, which is another coastal beach town. So there's my options for this. I just want to see brothers spread out. And if you've never been there, of course it's not played out to you. This is for people who've been to the same cities and locations over like 5 to 6, 7 times. I'm just trying to, let's spread out a little bit. Let's not be all on each other's toes. And I'm giving you guys some options. I'm not just telling you, well, these places are played out. I'm saying these places are getting played out. Here's some other options in the same country, and here's some options similar or surrounding the country. So it's, like I said, it's just my opinion. International, so that wraps up the 4-part series of Most Played Out Destination for Passport Bros 2025. Peace.